It's Sunday, it's 6 p.m. It's the Sunday Swinger Show. Let's get into it. How are we all doing? So we're doing it live this week. Hope all is well. So I'm going to be checking on the comments and everything. So if you have anything, any questions or anything, please do let me know. So as every week, we're going to run through everything here on the right-hand side of the screen in green here on YouTube. And as we move down through the show, we're going to go into the golden section, and that is for our members, which we're going to be doing golden indices, swing trades, altcoin swing trades with Netso Chronos, and then you're going to have when sailing with Bitcoin swing trades. That's going to be a really important one for this week, and that's going to be all for our members inside at the Pro Traders Lounge dashboard. So I'm just going to go and have a quick look to see, can everybody hear me? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Is everything running good? This is the first time that we have done this live, and hopefully the first of many live. So just have to make sure that everything is loud and clear and that you can hear me. If somebody can give me, even in the Discord, if you can let me know if you can hear me and if everything's clear, I can move through it then. So let me see, is everything good? Clear? And that's, yeah, I think it's all good. Yeah. So M says yes, sound is good. Das ist guten. So how we all doing? Hope you had a good week of trading. So we had a really interesting week of trading with Bitcoin coming up in new all-time highs. Lots of emotion, lots of people getting stopped out the whole way up to where we're at now on Bitcoin. And there's been a really good stream covering that a couple of days ago. You can see it. It's over on the X account at Pro Traders Lounge. And also you had a really good update from Trader R yesterday. So again, that's over on the X account. Don't forget to check it out. I think we are nearly ready to jump into this. So let me see. Let me get this over here. And boom. It's here. Yeah, you can all hear me. Hello, welcome everybody. Where's everybody listening from actually? Let me know in the comment section. Where are you listening from? What country are you listening from? That'd be interesting to know. And with that said, so I'm going to go into trade recap. Last week we were looking at a coin called Vanry. Vanry. And I'm going to bring us right back to where we were last week. So last week we were looking at this coin called Vanry. And we were identifying at the time, we had been looking at this the previous week, looking for this move up. So what we were looking for 2 weeks ago was this inverse head and shoulders. And we were looking for a move up above the trend line, and then for price to come back down. And we were roughly about here last Sunday, looking for price to come back down. Now, we did get the short up here from the following week, but last week I was saying I do not think the high is in on this, and I have multiple reasons why I do not think the high is in on this coin just yet. So last week we started doing the analysis on it. We started off with the local price action, and we had a reaction zone from the week before that we had not tapped fully. We hadn't come into it fully, but we had come up into it. So we had this real nice zone after getting that nice reaction, a retrace, and then it was kind of like just this deviation locally coming off the range. And I was saying to yourselves last week that with this deviation, that if we hold back within the range, to look to the other side of the range, to look for price to come up and give an equal deviation up at the other side of the range. And what we were looking at on that other side of the range was this move where, you know, you come up, take the high, and then lower high, or take that high, but, you know, for 2 attempts up at the high. And you can see on this screenshot from last week that we're also looking at the time analysis, okay? So if you see here, I was using a sine wave, I was using time analysis, and the time that we were looking for this pivot high to be put in was on Friday, the 23rd of May at 3 p.m. in the morning, or 3 a.m. in the morning, 3 a.m. in the morning. That was the timing of the high, okay? So we had first identified that we were in a potential deviation. We were looking at, with a deviation, that there's a high probability of coming over to the other side of that range. And that was building into the plan of coming up into that reaction zone, to come up and take that high and come up into the zone, put in 2 attempts up here. Once it gets above and into that red zone, 2 attempts like so, and we wanted it to happen at 3 a.m. on Friday morning. So they were all the key things that I gave last week, and those of you that listened, this played out really well, okay? So we had the deviation like we were looking for. We were looking for it to come back into the range. That's what happened. Then we were looking for price to come back up to the other side of the range. That's what happened. Let's take this blue thing out of the way. And then we were looking for 2 attempts to happen up at the high of the range. 1, 2. So that happened up at the high of the range. Let's dive deeper into it. Let's go down onto the lower time frame. Now that we go down onto the lower time frame, what time was the high put in? When we were doing time analysis here last week, we were saying 3 a.m. Remember, this is a full week beforehand. We're saying 3 a.m. We're looking for that high to be in on the next week. What time? 3 a.m. it came up into the highs. Now, bear in mind, we were looking for 2 stabs at this up at the high. The true high came in later on in that day, but the first high came in on that day at 3 a.m. That was the first attempt up into our red zone that we were looking for. 3 a.m. on Friday morning. So time analysis was spot on. And then as we were like within the group, what I was looking for on that morning, or on that day, I should say, Friday, we're looking for price to come back up and take out that high. And I was letting the pro traders know, or the pro trader members know, that if we come up and take this high, that I am looking for a swift move down. We'll be looking for a swift impulse down. And I'm actually going to find that so I can share that with you as well. Let me just see, where are we? While I'm looking for that, I'm going to have also a look inside in the chat in a second. But it's just to show that, you know, we can have these levels on the chart, but unless they come into our area on the time that we are looking for, you know, it's not really something that I'm interested in. So time analysis, like I say all the time, price is nothing without time. And time is, honestly, the more you dive into the charts, the more that you get interested in trading, the more you're going to start to realize that time is equally important. When you get that move is equally important to marking out. So just doing the lines on a chart is absolutely nothing. You have to back that up with the time you're looking for your level to be hit. Because if it hits too soon, the probabilities of that level being a pivot are out the absolute gap. Sorry, let me just find this. Vanry. Fuck. I don't know where I put it. It's there somewhere, but I'll share it afterwards. But it's there anyway. I told the members that we were going to be looking for that move up to take out that local high, this local high here, and for a strong impulse to come back down and drive it down. Vanry takes this high again. I will look for it. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just reading it there to try find it. Local. Yeah, can't find it. Pity. Anyway, we got the move. We're after getting the move, and we got the sharp move down that we were looking for. We didn't only do that kind of analysis here on last Sunday. We didn't only just take this and go, okay, there's where our level is. We went even deeper than that again. So while we were looking for the time for it to hit the lower levels, and then we come over, we have this big plan that this is a potential swing trade. And once activated, you know, there's a potential of a good 70% move to the downside on this. Obviously, taking it layer to layer. But we also had a fractal. And with that fractal, as we were mapping out, you can see here, we're looking for sideways, dip below, and then that rally up into the reaction zone. So that was sideways, dip below, rally up into the reaction zone, which we got. So loads and loads and loads of confluence there for us to come down and nail that level. So what we want to find out today is, okay, those of you that took the short, we want to know, right, we're now down 20, we're down 20% on price, but up 22%, we're down 22% on price, but up 22% in profits, excluding any type of leverage or anything like that. So a really, really nice impulsive move to the downside. What we want to figure out now, if you haven't taken profits on your paper trading accounts, now is the time to take profits on that paper trading account. But we want to find out in today's stream, is this it? Is it going to rally up and take another high? Or are we going to go and start heading down for those lower targets that we have, which is, we'll complete at about a 70% move. That's what we're going to find out today. So before we do it, there's a little sales pitch that I have to throw in here, and this is all for your own sake. We're finishing up this deal after this weekend. So this is the last of the deal for €99 for your first month at Pro Traders Lounge. This ends after this weekend. So you're saving up to 40% on your first month, and it's a really good offer. It's been really good for us, for everybody to come in and test. We've been running this intermittently for the last couple of months, and most of the people that have come in for the first month and tried it out are still here. They're here for their second month, and they're really enjoying Pro Traders Lounge. So if you want to avail of that offer, it's go to protraderslounge.com and use the coupon code FIRSTMONTH99. So that's FIRSTMONTH99 to get €99 for your first month at Pro Traders Lounge. So now that that's done, now that the sales pitch is done, the whole lot's done, we want to figure out the juicy stuff. Where is this trade going? Is this it? Is it going to come up for another high? Let's find out. So we're in here from, is it Austria, Slovenia, Netherlands, or CA, California, is it? That's excellent. Excelento. Welcome, everybody. So now let's dive into it and see where we're at, right? This is all really, really interesting analysis, but we kind of want to go down onto the lower time frame now and see is this all still valid to us? So some nice stuff going on here. Please do as well. Give it a like. Give this, if you're watching it on YouTube, give it a like. If you're watching it on X, give it a like. Throw a comment in underneath it. Give it a share. That's why we do this. We come along here every Sunday, and all we're looking for is a like or a share. That is it. We don't need anything else from you. And if you are interested and you like what you see, well, then you can come in and check out the rest of the show. But that's all we're looking for. So let's get into it. So we have this to play out. We've come down and now we're back at range lows. So we really need to know here now, from this area up here, have we completed this as just a potential local range rotation, or are we going to start to lose and get down? What I'm looking for really here today is, are we going to get a compound trade on this? Is it going to come up and take the highs? Or if we go down lower, where do we look for a compound to continue this, to add to the trade? So basically, we're looking for new, fresh trades on it. So let's do it. First off, I do think, even though we put in the high on a nice time, I would still be interested in this trade. If we came back up into that high, I would still be interested in that trade, or taking that trade again over that value area. So that goes without saying. If she comes back up into the highs and we get something like this and back down again, so if we get another range rotation here and it wants to go sideways for another bit, we come up and tap that value area low, I would still be open to this being another potential move up into another potential trade, or short trade. So let's take a little read on this. We'll take these boxes out if we don't need them anymore. Okay, so this would be the play I would look for moving up into that zone again. Let's put in our reaction zone up here. So if it does come up, that we're not going, oh, this is it. Like, obviously, if it flips back into that value, as I said the last how many weeks, if we do flip back up into here, stay in here, that's heading on up, and this idea is invalidated as a swing. So that would be trade one. That is trade number one. That this is not complete. This is going to head back up again and take out the highs. So I'll put this in as trade number uno. this? This is a new thing, is it? I don't know what that's all about. Trade number 1. Would you long from the current range lows to aim for the... yeah, potentially. I just see a thing come in there from EM. Yeah, potentially. That's what I'm going to find out now. So if we do get back up there, how are we going to get back up there? Let's figure that out now. So that's trade idea number 1. I like this channel. I think I'm going to adjust it a little bit, but I do like this channel if it is to continue back up again. Like, it's a clear channel. So we could look at this to happen tomorrow, roughly around 9 o'clock. So if it does come down and hold here for another move up, you know, in terms of just this channel, without doing any more analysis, we could say, you know, 9 o'clock, roughly, yeah, it would be faster than that. So it would be 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. It will be down here. Like so. You will get your move from there. Seems about right. Now we'll add some analysis onto it. Let's look at our points of control, naked points of control. So we're back down basically on the developing day value area low. So we're at support right now. We are at support where we are right now. So it's a good thing that if you did get into that trade, that you do take profits on those paper trading accounts. But you can see how well it came up into it. We had a previous month point of control, which if you go back and watch last week's episode, I said it came up and touched it to the dollar. You see a lot of people going on about these to the dollar moves. You know, when I see to the dollar moves, I know that they're going to be taken out. It happens 90% of the time. When you get this perfect touch of a naked point of control, price comes back and takes it right out again. So they're great if you get in on a scalp. But yeah, that was built into our plan last week. Monthly naked point of control cleared, and we got that nice move down. Down to the low of the range. So we have high volume sitting down below this. We've come down to the value area low for sure, but the high volume is coming in here on the profile, and that's on the developing month. Yes, the developing month. What about the week? Look at that. So we have confluence now. So on the weekly naked point of control, we sweep up above the highs. We've come up and cleared that naked point of control that we had on the weekly profile, and then we've come the whole way back down again. So I see no reason why we should not come all the way back down to that, you know, at least another little move down. Yeah, we can get a bounce from where we are right now. We can offer a bounce, maybe come up, down, who knows, who cares as well. It's about, you know, this to me now is starting to look interesting. That if we do come down here and hold, and we do have a zone now as a reference level to gauge strength and weakness at the bottom of a potential parallel channel here. So I will look at that as a reaction zone as well. And let's come down again now onto the... Oh, we're on the weekly. Let me have a look at the quarterly one more time. So we're also at the support of the quarterly, and we do have a big high volume node coming in that zone as well on that quarter. So it is really... This zone here, this reaction zone that I have marked out here is really important for each side of the market. So for us that we've taken a short up here, like this is a really interesting place. Where we are right now, you should take profits on paper trading accounts, but this is a zone that if we get here, it kind of tells all, are we going to get a move back up, or if we drop down below it, you know, and get a back test, that's a real strong level from a volume perspective as well, that we can look to potentially add to that trade on weakness of that low. So when you're in any trade, this is the zone that you're going to be looking for to turn around. And as I said, still looking for that. So that's trade number 2. That's trade number 2, and we do have time analysis on that as well, kind of giving us 9 o'clock Monday morning, give or take an hour or two on each side, but close enough to it. So trade number 2 will be to hedge with a long position, or hedge with a long position, or just if you didn't take this up here, if you get the reaction down here, this is a nice long. If you get the long, even up to the high of the channel, that's a 42% move to the upside. Like it's insane. 42% move to the upside. And that's if it stops here. You know, you have to remember that this is the trading game. Anything can happen. So if it does get up here, you know, that's where I'd be looking to close out most of the trade and leave some of it run. But you're talking, you know, this could keep running up to that point of control. So two really interesting zones on the chart. I want to look a little bit more in depth at if it does drop through here, where's the next kind of step to the downside? If it does. And I think, you know, that covers us. I want to look at the full range now. I want to get volume on that full range. Top to toe. So we're below the value area low, which is great. So if we do get this now changes up how I would manage this trade. So if we do get a move down and into that zone, and then we get a bounce, you know, you want to be taking big profits, because that is a place where this can start to reverse. This is about 11% to the upside. So this one could come up and then start to, you know, see weakness and further move down. That's potential there. Nice though. Let's see, do we have any pivots? No pivots, but I can, you know, I could imagine that there will be nice, when are we? The 25th. So there'll be nice weekly pivots to the upside somewhere in the middle of this channel, roughly. So if we come up into the middle of the channel and see weakness, not really a place I'd be interested in fairness. Let me see. Get a bounce there. Would be a new week. Let me get rid of that trade setup number 1 for a second. Trade setup number 2. So you have to think, if it's a new week, this will be the previous week volume profile. So important key level up there would be roughly in around that value area high. You know, if it doesn't reject off the big value area, take profits at the value area high of the overall range. But on the previous week, you know, if it comes up here, that is a place where you want to be looking at, up into the 786 region. I would actually, I'd broaden that to the 786. It's a big zone, but you do have that high volume node up in the middle of it. So if it does come up here and we start to do something like this, you know, you see that how many times is that kind of head and shoulders type pattern that goes on. You know, I will be looking for this to be a potential, you know, this is all trying to predict too far ahead, but I have to be open to all of these ideas that if it does come up, that is another nice place to look for a compound. So that would be trade 1 would be as if it comes up and takes out the highs. I suppose in sequence it will be trade 1, trade 2, or 2 and trade 3. So this will be the lower high if it is going to come back up again. Obviously we have the trade that if it comes up and takes the high, and the other one then is if it loses. So I'm quite happy with this as a plan for now on Vanry. So if there's any questions, please do let me know in the comment section before I move on. See, you can see like it's fairly simple. It's fairly straightforward where it's at with this. You know, it's a nice one to trade. It really is, and it's a really nice position. If we get this push down that I'm looking for, you know, down into, let's say, a 70% move from where, or about a 50% move from where it's at, you're talking a potential low on this thing for a while. So interesting place for this to be, and we are, you know, we are right up at the high of the move. We got it perfectly, and now is to see, do we get the follow through? That's the main thing. Do we get the follow through down here? So if there's no questions, I'm going to move on, and I'm going to pass you over to Trader R, who's going to look at Altcoins of the week. So his picks for the week. This one, Vanry, I picked. Actually, I got this one through AI. It's usually you pick it yourselves, but this one I got through AI, and I have to say it is really, really, really nice. So there's no questions in there, so I'm going to pass you over to Mr. Trader R.
How we doing, folks? I hope we're all doing good. I hope we're having a great weekend. We went live there yesterday on Twitter, so we did a few altcoins. Done a little bit of a Bitcoin review, and went over what could be next and the levels up and downside. So if you want to check that out, go on to my Twitter and you'll see it. It's just trader_. So make sure to get in and see that. But for now, we'll cover what we have for Sunday swingers. So last week we were looking at a few. I think we were looking at we didn't have any long plays again because we didn't see any potentials. All right, this was a Sunday. We didn't see any potentially longs. We're really just going against the market. So 2 weeks ago we were shorting east. Target was down here. And then just a few hours on the last Sunday, we were looking for this to either double lower high or come up and take this high and then do our target. But instead, you know what she did? The double lower high and straight to our target, and she did it at 9 o'clock. So we got new pivots spawning in just like 3 hours time, and she did it on the last day and the last few hours of that day, which is crazy work. Crazy work. Betting against the market is tough work. You know what I say? If we get a 10% move, if you got in late, down to at least the first pivot, you would have got 11%. That's a 10% move, and that's a win. Okay, a win. We had XMR too. We did have XMR, and I did say in a stream, I was like, no, you know what? This thing, if you got in, you're at break even. You're not really at a loss. It didn't even take your stop loss. This thing doesn't look like it's going to go down because our target was the weekly pivots, but you know what she did? On buy, but she wicked the weekly pivots, and then she went up, and it's just like, you know what? I don't really like this trade anymore. So that was break-even trade, not even a loss. Not even a loss. But we can probably look for something on this again. So we'll just put this on here. And remember, even though it did a bit of that's only 5%. It's not a win, is it? It's not a win. So what are we looking for now, right? XMR. She's on a bit of a screamer of a move here. She's on a bit of a screamer of a move in a big TR pocket. I'm curious. The next TR pocket is going to be up here, which is going to be a fairly big move up into the highs. But she's sitting in this one. I mean, for a lower time frame play on this, I wouldn't even really be trading this. I probably would trade this. You have a potential here that it could reverse because it is in the TR pocket. Just pull the TR pocket on the lower time frame. If she comes up and runs this high here and gets back inside, that's a trade. And you could be looking for the weekly pivots, which would be down here. Okay, she's in the bigger TR pocket, and if you get a swing fader in a big TR pocket, that's usually a nice trade. So weekly pivots could be the target, and they'll be spawning around here. And they'll be doing it tonight. So an area of interest. This will be a lower time for play for people that might just, I don't want to be waiting around for the big time for months. We get up above that high and we swing fail and get below this white line. Then there's a trade potentially, and your stop loss will be above the TR pocket, and you'll be looking for the weekly pivots, which could be down here. Might be around here, but in this area. That is XMR. Just a little bit of look at it because I see it's in the big TR pocket and it just hasn't done anything bearish just yet. So if it gets up here, swing fail or lose that high, you would have a bit of a sign of weakness then, So that's XMR. We had XRP we covered last night on Twitter, right? So the thing with this is we were looking for this to bounce up off the low because it was at a double equal lows. Alright, it was at equal lows. I don't like equal lows. I like to see them get taken out. I wanted this thing to bounce up and then come down, take them out. They got taken out, but it hasn't hit a zone of interest. So let me just show you. We have liquidations down here. So the 1 hour. We have a lot of liquidations down here, which is very nice. You got a nice cluster here, and you do have a cluster here. She tapped off of that. I would like to see them get filled out and get to the last one. Right, get to the last cluster, and this is where a sign I would look for would be a bit of a reversal. We do have, let me see, started the week over here. We're not going to have very nice pivots this week, I would say. Like if we come down here, the pivot's going to be around here. It's not going to be the best, but still it's a magnet to the top side, if you get me. So I'm still looking for this on XRP. Overall, the higher time frame plan, I would still love my spot up here. I would still love this area. Been waiting for this for quite some time now. I think we've covered this a few times, but it's still a good zone. Big supply on the TR extension. So we can get down here below these lows and deviate. Is there anything else down here actually? Because we do have a trend line that we've broken now. So she's going to be, this will be kind of a sign that you could break down here, and I wonder does it go further than that. I just, to back this up, I will check everything. Right. Just to check everything. From this low to this high is what? Go potato pocket. We're on that right now, so this would be nice to run out everyone in that golden pocket area. I do like this now, to be fair. Do like this. Get that liquidation cluster, and then we can see if we can get a bit of a reversal here in back above this line. That'll be an activation of a trade then. And then if you break this trend line, that will be a sign of potential swing trade. Alright, so always be aware as well, when you're trading these trend lines, you do tend to get a fake out first. So let's say we do come down here and then we get this up to here, boom, she probably fakes out and then she'll go do something like that. That's usually what happens with trend lines. So if thing comes back on it, always be aware of that she likes to do these big higher lows after a breakout. It's just to kind of run you out of position and to kind of scare you a bit to close their position before it goes up. You know, that's what usually happens with them. So next was that we were looking at this yesterday as well, mainly because we had a trend line here, lovely looking trend line. Let me see, can I get this like to this? Oh, that's even better. Trend line here, we haven't ran the low. The low was kind of weak to me. Yeah, look at the low here. Look at the full body candles. You'll learn something off of these. Anytime you have these kind of crap candle lows or candle highs, you see them here. These highs there, they're not proper rejection candles, you know. Not proper rejection, and you usually come up and fill these. Again, you had it there, you come up and fill it. Not bad, not bad, not bad, not bad, not bad, not bad. You see them, they're not too bad. This was poor enough, and then you came down and filled that. This is poor enough, fill it again probably. You know, wicks and candles, they're perfect. You know, see it here, not the biggest wick of all time. I need to come down and fill it. This one not the biggest wick, and you fill that one too, you know. But when you get full body candles like that, it's usually a hint the market wants to come down. Get that at some stage. It's most of the time I don't trade. Whenever I see a candle like that, if off my zone, I never trade it, because I know there's a good probability you're going to come down and fill it. But sometimes that hurts the account because you don't trade it, right? And so you still do get these moves. You still get these big moves, but it's for kind of a state of mind. I would never trade those reactions with those candles, because you're always conscious that low is probably going to get ran at any time. It could be when you're asleep, it could be when you're not around, you know. So I'd rather get in with the ones that have a nice candle on it, you know, a nice little wick. But that being said, right, we'll stop chatting here. We'll stop chatting. We'll have a look around and see what's going on. If the TR pocket put in this low here and push us up, let me see, we kind of have the TR pocket now. The next one will be up is the TR extension of that range high and low. So let's go to the 2 hour here and let's go to linear. Right, we'll have a look at a few things here now just to check everything out. We have this low here. That's kind of what's held us up. Oh, that makes sense. This low here held us up. It's big enough low. So we have this as well. Nothing really on the daily to help us here. So 4 hour. Let's pull out a bit of a volume here and just see what's the story. Oh, that was not bad, to be fair. Look at that. Look at that. That's really nice. That's really nice, to be fair. That really nice there. That volume gap held us and pushed us up a bit. That's nice. Alright, and then we just check this one from here to here. Look at that. That's it. Here we go again. That's it, yeah. So we have a volume gap sitting. Let me try and get this perfectly here. We have a volume gap sitting right here. I'm gonna have to put this on right there. This is really nice, I must say. Volume gap sitting on the TR extension. Oh, on the trend line. Get rid of this 0.5, there's no need now. On the trend line, And then we have this liquidity here. Could we use this trend line in a different fashion, in a different kind of way? We could indeed, I'd say. Maybe like that. Just do it off the body of the candle. Stretch it out a bit more. Right. Because the way we had it, we're probably going to just fake out that trend line. So it's not really a bit of a use, but it's good context to know that. Put this onto the top. Put this on less. Right. And then we'll just look at liquidations here. Let's go to the 1 hour. Big amounts of liquidations, and you know what? That TR extension is where the last of liquidations are. So that's nice. That's actually a very nice level. One to definitely keep an eye on, and the one to be aware of. Right. So this will be the next nice plan. The nicest one out of them all is Dash. I will say it is Dash. Go like this. That's log. Let's just do this again. Put it on like this, yeah, and then linear. Alright, and we do buy box. Lock. Put that in, that and that. Right. So we did go over this yesterday, but I'm changing the plan a little bit here. Just from what I just saw there, so. Right. This. And we will be looking for a bit of a bounce. A bit of a bounce. 10% move at least. Could be a big low as well. Could be a big low, or it takes you all the way to 29. You never know. I would like to check one last thing. Go to the weekly, no, monthly. Just want to check these all out and see where we're at on all these. Quarterly have yet to be tapped. So if this is a big low here now, this will be the target. This will be the target. Good to check that now, I would say. So that would be the target. If we can get down here, hold this low, it might arse around a bit. I'm not gonna lie, it might actually arse around a bit. If this is gonna be a big low, you probably would expect some kind of chop like that. So don't go in big size, folks. There's no point in going in big size. Don't be stressing yourself out with these kind of trades. Trading is not meant to be for that. You're meant to actually be bored at these kind of stuff. So take a small trade, you know. Build on that trade. If you think this is a nice trade, like give it a day, it's like, you know what, this is looking all right, I might add to this trade. Stuff like that. Again, no financial advice and all that stuff, but that's how I would do it with paper trading, if you get me. That's it for me, folks. That trade there on Dash, XMR, XRP, we ran them through ETH USD. I'm gonna call it a day. Hope to see you inside again, you know, inside in PTL, and we'll catch you in there for a bit of live trading this week and see how we do. We'll see how we do. Looking forward to this one. Good luck, folks. I'll chat to you again, and adios. Bye bye.
I'd like to thank you, Mr. Trader R, for again another great week of analysis, or weekend of analysis. So we're pushing on through the show now, and we're about to get to the end. We're about to wrap it up. We're about to head over to our members, where we're going to be covering, I'm going to be actually covering, instead of golden indices this week, I'm going over all of the stock trades and all the stock watch list that I have, where, you know, just in the last couple of weeks, we're up, it was 1,000% on stocks alone. Just there last week or 2 weeks ago, again, Canopy Growth Cannabis up 157%. Village Farms Cannabis up 120%. You know, it just goes on and on and on and on. So what we're going to be doing is covering some swing trades on some of the cannabis market, which is coming into really nice areas. We're also going to be looking for compound positions on those, and we'll look at other stocks as well. We'll then move on to Netzo Chronos, who's going to look for altcoin swing trades for the week ahead. And then the big one, the one that everybody's been looking for, and to find out what the hell is going to happen next on Bitcoin. So there's loads going to be going on for our members. But, as you can see at the low here, the next part of today's show, before we wrap it up, is to win a free month. Okay, so this is going to be the last of this competition. We've already given out close to 10 free memberships, one every week for the last 10 weeks. We brought it, it's now episode number 20. We've been giving out one free membership a week since episode number 10. So we're after giving out 10 memberships A lot of them, a lot of those 10 free memberships, those members are still here are still within Pro Traders Lounge as members for many months now. So, yeah, 10 one a week we've been giving them out. So it's been really good. This is the last one. So we're going to give out 2 this time. We're going to give out 2 memberships this time as it's the last. And we're also going to announce the winner of last week's competition. So it's going to be very simple. All you've got to do to enter this competition is this. You go over to the Pro Traders Lounge X account. You go to this video where you see it being streamed. You like it. You have to do these 3 things. You like it, you comment underneath it, and then you reshare. That's it. That is it. And you're in with a chance to win another membership. Or two people. We'll pick 2 this time as it's the last time. And we will announce that next week on this show next week. So 2 winners. You go to X, go to Pro Traders Lounge. You've got to like, comment, and you've got to reshare. And that's it. We don't ask any more of you. So with that said, we're now going to look at the winner of last week. But first, remember, it's also the last week of this. €99 for your first month at Pro Traders Lounge. That's a saving of up to 40%. And just use this coupon code that you see floating, flaking around that screen. A first month 99, and that is it. So, before we go back over to our members and wrap it up, please give us a like. Please give us a comment. Let us know how you get on with the show. And now it's time to spin the wheel. So we had 9 people who entered correctly last week. You can see them all listed over this side of the screen. 9 people entered correctly. We actually had another one in there, but he won last week. So we said, nah, let's be fair here. He won last week. He's in there as a member since last week. So fair is fair. We'll give somebody else a chance. And yeah, let's spin the wheel. Best of luck to everybody. We'll see who gets it. Is it going to be someone that won it before? I think Alex won it before, or he's either a member right now. I don't know, but congratulations, Alex. You have won a free membership. I think you're inside there as a member anyway, so that if you are a member in there, this will just get added on to your membership. And there you go. It's that easy, folks. It is that easy. So with that said, we're going to wrap it up here. Thanks for tuning in. Let us know what you think of the show. Give us a like. And if you want to be in with a chance to win, you've got to just, for next week, you've got to just go to X, Pro Traders Lounge, like it, comment, and reshare, and that's it. Ladies and gentlemen, hope you have a great weekend.